Oh, Shiza, I forgot. Oh my god. Oh my god, it was actually sharing. Whoops. Oh, dumb right. I'm gonna say something, but whatever. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Please getting. That's quite embarrassing for me, right? How are you guys doing today? I hope you're having a good day so far. I just started school today. Woo! Yeah, take that as you will. Yeah, today's a day. I understood like I had three classes today. I understood two of them. The last one was Japanese class. My God, do I feel stupid? Oh man, I don't know what to do. I don't know. I'm so lost. She keeps speaking in Japanese. She barely speaks in English, but it's a beginner class, so I don't know what to do. Oh, oh, oh. Damn, I should have taken Spanish. Something. A class already I can do. Uh, okay. All right. Yeah, class, school, yada yada yada. Every day I end at 11:50 a.m. Standard time. I think I'm gonna take like maybe a hour, an hour for doing homework and stuff and everything. God, yeah, because apparently this Japanese class is gonna give me lots of homework, so I want to use that 1 hour to do that stuff and need be by myself if the other three classes I have this semester give me homework. One of them doesn't seem, or two of them don't really seem like it. So I'm just waiting on one more class that I have to see tomorrow. Mainly just papers, but papers are a lot easier for me to do tests. So yeah, hopefully that goes over well. Everything. Uh, yeah, it's really just this Japanese class. Ah, just taking literally anything else because this thing looks like. Possibly. I know I'm moaning. It's just a difference. It's a complex situation. I know. Yeah, but yeah, okay. Either way, main crux of it all. I'm hoping to stream every single day, well, maybe except for like 1 day of the week. But I think I'll try to keep that a Friday so I can at least get in nighttime. So, what the schedule is going to be like? It's going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Will be like maybe 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock or something, like we're going to kind of do today. I know I got an early start and everything. Yeah, that's what we're going to try to aim for, 1 to 3 o'clock each day, or if something ends up happening, I'll make sure to do something at night. So it won't be for very long. Ah, shiza, I forgot to mention my laptop for whatever reason won't let me stream from there right now. I just tried it, and yeah, I don't know what happened, but something about the drivers being out of date, so I got to figure out how to do that. Either that, or I just transfer my Game Boy save stuff and everything over here. I've already transferred. This thing's not that hard because we're just doing reading today, so it's just a single image. But I got to move like Game Boy stuff and everything from laptop over here to the big. Hopefully, the laptop isn't dead. Well, it's not dead, but I mean for streaming purposes, it isn't dead. I can keep using that because it's kind of awkward when I talk to myself and people over here. Yeah, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't know. That's really about it. Thursday through Saturday, I'll be streaming on at night. Sunday, I think, is gonna just be like a total off day for me. I could like I don't know, get myself back together for the new week and everything. Finish whatever a parent needs. So yeah, it's basically just gonna be back to one stream a day, except for exceptions of Thursday, Friday. I think Saturday will just be nighttime. I think Friday I'll have two. If not, that's going to be nighttime too. So maybe it's just once a week we'll do double streams. I don't know. We'll have to see about everything. I know it's very no, I can't put anything in concrete because school is so, I guess, important and everything that I can't exactly put in a price tag. Not a price tag, sorry, like a exact labeling and everything of what's gonna happen. So for now, let's just take it a week at a time. Yeah, I think I'll be here all week at like 1 o'clock. Yeah. Oh yeah, except for Friday. Friday I'm doing something. God, I've already broken the rules. All right, well, let's get this going. I've talked enough. I've talked your ear off. I'm sure you're absolutely bored. Oh yeah, it's pretty funny that Madden NFL 2022 is doing really poor. And honestly, I don't blame him at all. God, I hate what EA's done to franchise games and everything like Madden. Just turns to absolute doggy doo doo. All right, then. All right. Let's get down to business. Defeat. Something. All right, dudes. Let's get right to it. I'm sure I've talked your ear off long enough. All right, let's get on it. Yeah. I'm screwing with you. That's not how it starts. Okay, last time, what was that? 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? Um, last time we were reading the whole thing that basically happened was, what was it? No, we just finished one of our teammates' stories by the name of Rook, the taco loving man. Oh man, I'm not even trying to be a bad person. I'm just stating what they are, what the characteristics are. They're funny and they like tacos. So who am I to judge? All right. All right. Hopefully my voice is good this time and I don't die. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Hey, would it really be one of my streams if I didn't yawn? All right, let's get down to business then. All right, we went to the bed for the day. All right. Okay. In your sleep, your ears pick up the sound of a door opening and closing, and footsteps outside your door. Your mind quickly jumps awake. You stealthily reach under your pillow for your shooty shooty bang bang and smile, before silently sliding off your bed and walking to the door. You pause and listen. You can hear footsteps on the other side of the door. Sounds like just one person. Then you hear the sound of your electric kettle being filled and heated. You think to yourself, why would someone break into my apartment just to use my electric kettle? You decide to open the door, weapon drawn, and in the kitchen you see Gabriel with an empty cup, waiting for your kettle to finish heating up. He turns to you and says, I I find your lack of tea disturbing. Suddenly the door to Mouse's room opens, revealing Mouse in his pajamas holding a short barrel shotgun. Who's that? He shouts. It's me, Mouse, Gabriel replies calmly. Where do you keep your tea? Oh. He lowers the shotgun and lets out a sigh. It's in the cupboard next to the fridge, he says. Gabriel walks over to the cupboard, opens it, and pulls out a box of tea bags. Take a seat. We're waiting, he says as he begins preparing the tea and milk. He looks over at his shoulder and he looks over his shoulder and asks, Tea? Chocolate milk, please. It's in the same cupboard. Very well, Gabriel says, pouring the milk into 4 empty cups, filling one of them to the top. He opens the cupboard again and pulls out a bag of powdered chocolate milk. God damn it. Powdered chocolate milk. Why do we can't we have like nice things like, drink actual chocolate milk than the powdered stuff? Powder and water. Damn, that hurts. He takes out his karambit knife and cuts the pack open before pouring the contents into the last cup. As you're about to walk into your living room, you see Michael in his usual three-piece suit, sitting quietly in the armchair next to the sofa, menacingly intertwining his fingers. You also see Raquel standing by the door with her shotgun. Currently not in her usual suit and blue tie, but instead wearing a black hoodie and a blue shirt, along with her dark gray hockey mask with purple cat whiskers. She stares at you and Mouse as the two of you take a seat on the sofa. Good evening, Michael says. We're sorry for disturbing your sleep, but Gabriel has something for you. He leans back in his armchair. After a few seconds later, Gabriel walks out of the kitchen with a tray and 4 cups. He sets them down on the coffee table and grabs one of the cups, gesturing for you and Mouse to grab one. Raquel walks over, grabs a cup full of just milk, and walks back to her position in front of the door. Gabriel, Michael, and Raquel all lift their masks simultaneously and take a sip from their cups. Wait a second. Didn't he say he brought 4 cups? In a tray? Uh, Oversight, I guess. Okay. You and Mouse do the same. You sip your beverage, savoring the sweet dairy goodness. Mouse's eyes widen and he looks at Gabriel. This is brilliant. It's just tea, nothing special. Gabriel shrugs as he pulls out a small titanium liquor flask and pours some of its content into his own tea. He closes the flask and slides it back behind his suit jacket. And he picks up his cup of tea and takes a sip. Michael hums in satisfaction and gives Gabriel an appreciative nod. Then he puts down his cup and crosses his legs before laying his hand on his thigh, waiting silently as he stares at his cup of tea. It's nice to see you've settled here, Gabriel says, putting down his cup of tea. It's funny to see our old safe house being occupied by someone else. Sorry, I see that some noise is getting through the noise gate, so let me just edit that. Oh, there we go. Okay, okay. I think it's good. All right. Uh, your room is Michael's. Gabriel continues. Did you find any dead drug dealers in the closet when you first arrived? No doubt they found your stash of porno mags first, Michael says, sneering at Gabriel. They did. It must have had Raquel's name on it, Gabriel says, and both he and Michael chuckle. Gabriel looks at Raquel, who replies with only an irritated glare. Sorry, he says, taking a sip of tea. Why are you here at 2 in the morning, man? Well, Gabriel takes a sip of his tea. Dan told me you've been contacted by a certain someone in the FBI, he says. A few days ago, Raquel was monitoring the outgoing and incoming calls from your phone. She intercepted a couple calls coming from a number we've had on a watch list for a few months now. But how could she? Isn't your phone encrypted by Mouse? Looks at Mouse and he shares your face of confusion. However, we were unable to actually decipher the actual call, which is why I'm here today, in hopes of catching the call again. Judging by the pattern, I believe they'll call in about a minute or so, he says, taking a sip of his tea. Where'd you learn to brew? You don't want to know, he says, taking a sip of his tea. I've made tea and coffee through Afghanistan, Pakistan, Donbass, Syria, pretty much everywhere I've set foot. Are we in trouble? No, thankfully, he says simply. Is there anything you can't do? Die, apparently. Takes another sip of his tea. You continue to wait more than a few minutes, and then suddenly, ring! Your phone, oh, sorry. Alright. Oh. And phone starts to ring from behind you. You turn and see your phone vibrating on top of the cupboard. Gabriel stares at your phone before looking back at you, saying, May I please? Puts his hand out. Just checking something. Walk over, grab it, walk back to Gabriel and hand it over to him. Still vibrating and ringing. Raquel immediately pulls out her own laptop and sets it down on the table. Gabriel sets the phone down next to the laptop and connects it via USB, then answers it and puts it on speaker. You hear the all too familiar voice of the FBI agent who's calling you. It's Anthony, Gabriel replies. Stretched out pause that holds his attention in the air before the FBI agent replies. Gabriel. Anthony, how have you been? Gabriel asks. Been having sleepless nights trying to catch you, Anthony replies. Flattered, Gabriel says as he takes a sip of his tea. Won't be when I have you behind bars, Anthony says. Sense of aura of hatred between I sense an aura of hatred between you and Gabriel, Anthony, Michael says. Oh shit, Sherlock, Anthony says. So Michael's there too, eh? It's there. I'm here too. Anthony doesn't seem to reply as Gabriel continues. Bit creepy for you to be calling my colleagues in the middle of the night. Only at the FBI. Gabriel turns his eye to Raquel, who's continuing to trace the phone call from her laptop. I'm creepy, says the man who robs armored vans with a smiley mask, Anthony says. Touche, Gabriel says. How's the hunt? You're as elusive as always. Mind giving us a break? Anthony says. Nah, it's been more fun this way, Gabriel says. Besides, I'm doing your job for you. Notice how fewer and fewer outfit members are active now? You're welcome. Ain't playing judge, jury, and executioner makes you the good guy? Anthony asks, his tone growing angry. I know you've been leaving trails of dead outfit members left and right. No trail, no evidence, nothing but bullet holes and occasional civilian casualties. Hey, I try my best to limit that, Gabriel says. Oh yeah? Well tell me, what happened at Vancorp Tower? Anthony says. All those guards had nothing to do with the outfit. Signed a contract. They knew what they were getting into. Besides, I barely got out of there alive. Hell, I actually sort of died, Gabriel says, rubbing the wound on his chest. Too bad he didn't stay dead, Anthony says. Ouch, that was hurtful, Gabriel says, putting his hand over his heart. Mr. Revel, Michael says, causing a moment of silence in the room before. How much for you to leave us alone? You think you can bribe me with your dirty money? Anthony says. I'm not in this for the money. I'm in it for the glory of taking you all down. See, you're that kind of person. To die for it. Sorry. See, you're that kind of person. You willing to die for it? Michael asks, looking at Raquel, who's still working on it. Either I'm putting you in jail, or I'll die trying, Anthony says. Raquel gives Gabriel a thumbs up. Gabriel picks up the phone and says, I'll help you with the latter. He immediately hangs up and quickly jumps from his seat and signals for both you and Mouse to follow. We have his location. Come on. You and Mouse quickly grab your masks and balaclavas. You slide your shooty bang bang and smile into the back of your waist. And follow Gabriel as he, Raquel, and Michael rush out of the apartment and down to the lobby. You and Mouse put on your balaclavas, then your mask on top of them inside the elevator. You ignore the fact that you're both still in your pajamas. While Gabriel and Michael are in their usual three-piece suits and blue ties, and Raquel in her black Sorry, Jesus. Why do I yawn whenever we do this? I don't know. And Raquel in her black hoodie and light blue shirt. As the five of you rush out of the building through the back door, you see a familiar SUV parked on the side of the road. The window rolls down, revealing Charlie as the driver. Evening, Charlie says as everyone hops into the SUV. He's around the corner, 2 blocks down, Gabriel points in the direction for Charlie. Hold on tight, Skipper, Charlie says as the SUV screeches across the asphalt. Charlie slams the steering wheel as the SUV drifts around the corner and quickly races down the road. In the distance, you see a flower van rushing off far down the street. Gabriel leans forward and points at it. There it is. Raquel taps his shoulder. Gabriel looks back at her and she points at her to her laptop. He looks back down and looks at the screen of the laptop. He has to turn around. We can cut him off, Gabriel says as he looks back to Charlie. Man, Jesus. I'm so sorry. Okay. Gabriel says as he looks back to Charlie. Charlie, turn left here. Almost immediately, the SUV swerves to the side, almost tilting as Charlie drifts to the car around the corner. In the distance, before it goes out of view, you see the flower van, also turning a corner. Gabriel stops. Gabriel points to the end of the block and says, "Stop there." Charlie drives up to the spot as Gabriel grabs his rifle from the back seat, and Gabriel, Michael, and Raquel get out, signaling for everyone to follow. As you rush to the corner of the block, you all hear the sound of rubber tires screeching across the asphalt. And in the distance, just around a corner, you spot a flower van racing down the street towards you at high speed. Fire at it with a shooty bang bang and smile. You pull out your shooty bang bang and smile, chambering around, and open fire at the van as it drives past. Gabriel fires his FNC, Michael fires his revolver, and Raquel fires her shotgun. And you don't know whose shot did it, but the rear left tire of the van explodes in a shower of rubber. The van skids and screeches as metal meets asphalt, sending sparks flying through the air. Finally crashes into a streetlight, sending it spinning across the street before coming to a stop in front of an e-cig shop far down the street. As the dust of the crash settles, Gabriel signals for everyone to follow as he rushes down the street towards the van. As he sprints to the van, the back door opens. A man in an FBI vest and ski mask jumps out and opens fire at all five of you. Gabriel doesn't even flinch as he quickly raises his rifle at the figure. Tackle Gabriel into cover. You rush to tackle Gabriel into safety as everyone else instinctively rushes to find cover in an alcove of a shop and behind a mailbox. Before you can reach him, you see a puff of smoke erupting from Gabriel's vest. He lets out a huff of air out of his lungs as he gets pushed back. You reach him and wrap your arms around him as more bullets fly past you. You tackle him down behind cover with you as the bullet cracks the sidewalk beside the two of you. Gabriel groans as he looks down at the bullet hole in his vest. Thankfully, it doesn't appear to have gone through. He looks up at you and says, "Thanks. You okay?" He looks you over for a few seconds before gunshots suddenly streak past behind him. He quickly gets back up and rushes back out of cover as the firing stops. You hear him groan beneath his breath. "Bastard shot me." He raises his FNC at the rifle, at the running agent, and returns fire with his FNC, firing 3 shots. 2 of the shots hit, sending 2 puffs of smoke flying out of the back of the FBI agent's vest. He falls forward as other rounds hit him, right in the back of the thigh. The figure falls to the ground and you all quickly rush up to him as you see him crawling into cover behind the side of the flower van. The side door opens up and a man also in an FBI vest jumps out and opens fire at all 5 of you. But he only manages to get off 1 shot before Gabriel fires his rifle at him, hitting him dead center in his head. His body crumples to the ground lifeless. "Shot me. Actually shot me," Gabriel shouts as the FBI agent behind the van replies with a blind fire around the back of it. You and everyone else instinctively dodge out of the way, but Gabriel continues to stroll forward as the bullets land around him. One of them suddenly hits Gabriel's hockey mask, sending sparks flying, denting the mask as Gabriel takes a few steps back, dazed. Ah, seriously! Gabriel shouts as he shrugs off the shot. Looking at his mask, he realizes the glass over his right eye is cracked. He returns fire, angrily emptying the magazine of his rifle where the FBI agent is hiding. Sparks, bit of brass, and debris fly everywhere as the bullets impact around the back of the van until it stops. When Gabriel realizes he's out of ammo, he slings his rifle over his shoulder and pulls out his Browning high power, then aims it at the back of the van. I'm not joking around, Anthony. All of a sudden, you see something fly out from the back of the van, just as you realize what it is. Bang! A flash of white erupts in front of your eyes, and a loud shockwave blasts your eardrums, causing you to reel back in pain and blindness. You open your eyes and everything's blurry. You can't see anything, and your ears are loudly ringing. Looking around, you see the blurry outline of Gabriel, also looking around him, disoriented. Looking back at where the figure was taking cover, you don't see anything at all. But in the distance, you spot a blurry flash of red and blue, and you begin to hear the faint sound of a police siren. Look around for Anthony. Desperately look around yourself with blurred vision, but you're barely able to recognize anything. However, in the midst of your blurred vision, you spot the outlines of a bright yellow FBI vest. Fire at the outlines, baby. You raise your shooty bang bang and smile, trying your best to aim at the bright outline of the yellow vest. Then pull the trigger. Bang bang bang. Fire off your shots and you see the outline of the FBI vest dropping to the ground, but then continuing to move away from you. However, the sound of the siren is continuing to come towards you. As your vision clears, you look around and see a familiar SUV driving up behind you. Then Raquel and Michael open fire past you as at the police cruiser. Feel something grabbing your waist and pull you into the van. Turn and see Mouse pulling you. You see his lips moving, but you can't hear anything beside the ringing in your ears. He continues to pull you towards the van as Gabriel drunkenly sprints towards the SUV. Looking back over at your shoulder, you spot not one, not two, but three police cruisers and its SWAT van. Ringing in your ear finally subsides, and you hear sirens blaring in the distance and Gabriel's muffled shouting from behind everyone. It's a trap! Everyone quickly gets into the SUV, and as the doors close, you hear Gabriel shouting to Charlie, Go, go, we need to get out of here! The SUV does a quick U-turn and races away from the cops. However, a couple of cruisers give chase, and Gabriel growls in frustration. He looks behind him and begins climbing into the back seat as he shouts, Pop the trunk! Michael turns around and moves in the back with Gabriel. Then he grabs a machine gun from below and sets it against the back seat, aiming out of the back of the SUV. Both Michael and Gabriel open fire at the police cruisers, which immediately swerve out of the line of fire as the two men rain led down the road behind the SUV, sending sparks, bullet ricochets, and asphalt pieces flying everywhere. One of the cruisers swerve onto the sidewalk and crash into a fire hydrant, while the other stubbornly continues to chase you down. But the driver is quickly gunned down by Michael's barrage of machine gun fire, and the cruiser slowly comes to a stop. Gabriel looks over his shoulder as he reloads his rifle and shouts, Charlie, take us to the House of Fluff. Charlie nods and points the SUV towards the outskirts of the city as Gabriel closes the rear door. Yeah. Sorry. uh, Lost my. Alright. The House of Fluff, sometime past midnight. Lost track of time, but eventually the SUV arrives in front of a small, shabby apartment building. The brick wall seems to have been left uncared for, and a couple of the windows are cracked. They all get out of the SUV and Raquel leads the way to the front entrance. Inside the lobby of the building, it smells of animal fur. Somewhat duplicates what the exterior looks like. Shabby, old, and pretty much left to the mercy of time. Ripped wallpaper reveals the cracked cement wall behind it. A lone old lady sits behind a receptionist's desk, giant sunglasses hiding her eyes, and she perks up as everyone enters. She continues to stare off at the walls across the desk as she says, "Hello, how may I help you?" Raquel simply walks up to her and knocks 4 times in a pattern on the desk. "Oh, welcome home, kitty. Long day at work again?" The lady asks as she reaches under the desk, pulls out a key and sets it down on the table. Raquel picks it up and puts it in her pocket. Then she walks off without saying a single word. Gabriel walks in behind you. He takes off his suit jacket, looks over to the old lady and says, "Morning, Miss Rose Storm."
"Oh, morning, Gabriel. Staying over at Kitty's again, are you?"
Miss Rose Storm says with a hint of just, "Yeah, we need to lay low for a while. Mind keeping things quiet?" Gabriel says, pulling out a thick wad of cash from his pocket and setting it down on the desk.
"Of course, dear. Hope everything is going well."
Miss Rosestrom says as Gabriel signals for everyone to follow him upstairs.
"Try not to make too much of a party," he says.
"Thank you, Delilah," Gabriel says as everyone walks up to the stairs. Eventually, you all make your way to the door at the far end of the hallway. Raquel inserts the key, unlocks it, and as soon as she opens it, the pungent aroma of feline fur impacts a sense of smell like a train. You're taken back by it as Raquel reveals the room behind it. From the floor to the shelves to the table and sofas, they're all littered with cats and kittens of all shapes, sizes, species, ages, colors, and levels of cuteness. The whole room is feline heaven. Everyone walks inside, watching each and every one of their steps along the way. You have to precisely find the correct path to walk upon to try not to step on any of the cats. It's rather difficult as they begin moving around to welcome you. Raquel seems to be used to this as she strolls carelessly through the cats, making a beeline to the couch. She takes a seat and leans back, relaxed, letting out a sigh. The closest thing you've ever gotten, the closest thing you're ever going to get to a voice from Raquel. Gabriel throws his suit jacket on the hanger and seems somewhat used to the chaos of felines, but he still has to carefully plan his steps as he makes his way down to the couch next to her. He sits down and lets out a sigh of relief as the cats slowly begin to climb up around their laps and shoulders. Mouse is just starstruck with joy at the sight of the sea of kittens.
"Oh, there's so many of them."
He crouches down to the cutest one near him, picks it up. An all-white kitten with light blue eyes. Michael walks in and is also taken back by the sight. Seems to be the first time he's been here.
"Perhaps there's too many of them,"
he says as he closes the door behind him.
"Nonsense. There's no such thing as too many cats,"
Mouse says, petting the white kitten in his arms, curled up into a white purling ball of fluff. Pick up one of the cats and take a seat on one of the sofas. Look under you and you pick up one of the cats, a cute and calm kitten who doesn't mind you grabbing her and picking her up. You walk with her in her arms, petting her as you take a seat in one of the sofas. "Mike, you might want to hang your jacket up unless you want to get fur all over your suit," Gabriel says, leaning back on the couch in his dress pants, shirt, bulletproof vest, and blue tie. Gabriel takes off his jacket and hangs it on the wall.
"So, what the hell was that all about?"
he asks Gabriel. Michael takes off his jacket and hangs it up on the wall. Whoops. "What do you mean?" Gabriel asks, leaning forward. Michael walks over to the living room and leans back against the wall, crossing his arms as he says, "He pulled us in a God, no, sorry.
He pulled us into a trap that rarely happens."
"What happened, Gabe? Getting loose?" "I didn't count on him making this personal. It won't happen again.
Gabriel says. How sure are you? Michael asked. I could have killed him, and he knew it. He learned his lesson, and we learned ours. It won't happen again, Gabriel repeats. Still can't believe he shot me. He's made it clear he wants us behind bars at whatever cost, Michael says. I say we just kill him. If we kill him, the whole FBI will come down on us, Gabriel says. And you think they haven't already? Michael asks. No, thankfully if they were, they'd be all over us already. I have no idea why they haven't gone all out yet. It still bugs me, Gabriel says. Maybe they're waiting for us to finish off the outfit. That would be somewhat of a logical explanation, Gabriel says. Mouse takes a seat next to you, continuing to pet the kitten in his arms, and he says, Maybe the FBI is afraid of us. Michael chuckles and says, That'd be wonderful if that was the case. Make our job a whole lot easier. Gabriel looks to you and says, But when you think about it, they knew what we were doing. They knew if they kept calling kits, they'd eventually get our attention. He looks back to Michael, and they knew we'd try and track him down. As soon as we chased them, they lured us into a trap. Man, jeez, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm yawning. know why. Alright, okay. Man, it's just all over the place right now, sorry. Uh, why lures us into a trap? Why not just breach into our safe houses and arrest us all one by one? Mouse asks. Gabriel looks at Mouse and says, Do not to try and capture us in our own base. They're not afraid of us, but they're cautious. And ever since we moved out of New York, they're always one step behind us, as they knew what we were gonna do. Gets me thinking. Looks back to you. How do they know so much about us? No, I don't know, I don't know. Maybe the FBI has an informant. Gabriel sighs and says, Too tired for this shit. Continue this in the morning. He leans back and stares at the ceiling. Mouse. Kits, go home and get ready for your job. Today is a heist day. Gabriel says, continuing to relax on the couch. He pulls out his phone and begins calling someone. Mouse reluctantly gets up and, still with the kitten in his arms, says to Raquel, keep her. She's so cute and I think she likes me. Raquel stares at Mouse intensely. Mouse frowns and sets the cat down on the sofa before walking to the door. Get off the sofa and carefully traverse the minefield of cats on your way out. Lay low for now, and don't pick up any calls from anyone except me or the crew, Gabriel says as you walk out. Also, I'm sending someone over to stand guard at your apartment. You and Mouse walk back to the lobby. Leaving so soon? Miss Rose Storm. Leaving so soon? Today's just not my day. Miss Rose Storm says on your way out. Yes, good night, Miss Rose Storm. Mouse says as he walks out. Yeah, duty calls. Well, you have a safe trip, Miss Rose Storm says as you exit the building. However, before you get to the door, before you exit the building, before you get to the door, you hear an adorable little meow from behind you. You turn around and see nothing. You look down and spot one of Raquel's kittens, an adorable tiny female looking up at you with her droopy, watery blue eyes. Her dark gray fur is all well groomed, and her paws are adorably fluffy. Lets out a little squeak of a meow, and Miss Rostorm answers, "My little kitty, you're not supposed to be here." She blindly shambles out from behind the counter and makes her way to the kitten. The kitten meows and approaches you. She looks up at you expectantly with her watery blue eyes. Then she leans down to your feet and begins rubbing the back of her head on your shoes. Now, little missy, you wouldn't want to have Raquel sending a whole search party after you. Miss Raquel says as she leans down and tries to pick up the kitten. We pick up the kitten. Pick up the little kitten and cradle her in her arms. She meows as she snuggles up to your chest. Her soft, fluffy fur rubs against your skin as she meows adorably. Are you sure that's wise? Raquel said make sure not to let a single cat leave this place, Miss Rostorm says. Looks down at your arms and the kitten looks back at you in her cradle, staring with her droopy, watery blue eyes as she meows. So, I think she likes you, Miss Rostorm says, with a smile. Can I keep her? Ask. No, Miss Rostorm says as she walks over to the front door. She opens it and says, but I didn't see anything. She smirks and you chuckle a little, knowing that she means it due to her being blind. Well, no, duh. uh, you smile and walk through the open door with the kitten in your arms. You walk out to the SUV that's still waiting outside. You hop in and tell Charlie to take you back to your safe house. As you hop in with the kitten in your arms, Mouse looks over at her and squeals in an overwhelmingly, "Aw, she's so cute." Mouse reaches over to pat her soft, dark gray fur. Charlie looks behind him, and when he sees the little kitten, he immediately smiles and says, "Aw, who's a cute little kitten? Wait, whose is that?" "Don't ask, just drive," Mouse says as he continues to pet the cat. Charlie shrugs and says, "Right then." He puts the car into gear and drives you back to the safe house. Whew. The safe house, some way past midnight. You don't know what time it is, but you soon arrive back at the safe house. You don't see anyone else except the receptionist, so that's a good sign. Make your way up to the elevator and back to your apartment, then into your room. Walk over to the desk behind your bed and lay down the kitten you picked up at the House of Fluff. As you set her down, she tries to climb back into your arms. She meows as you feel her tiny sharp claws digging into your wrist as she climbs back up to your arms. She doesn't want to seem to leave your side. Calm her down, petting her as she looks up to you with her light blue eyes. She meows once more as she plants her head on the bicep of your. Perhaps you should give her a name. Da da. I don't know any good name for cats. Oh, damn. What's the name of the cat? Star's name in Warriors. Yeah, that's what she looks like. God damn. I feel like Blue Star would just be. You know what? We'll just roll with Blue Star, okay? That's what I'm calling the cat now. What it reminds me of, okay? Blue Star, you say. Kitten smiles at you and meows and replies. In reply, you think she likes it. Hop into bed and soon enough you fall asleep as exhaustion takes over. High Stay, Chapter 3, Part 2, Self-Service. You spent the previous day preparing every item you need for today's heist. You went to sleep a couple hours early and woke up an hour before the heist, around half past midnight. As usual, you and Mouse wake up and take a bath, one after the other. Then get yourself dressed, bringing all the necessary gear with you in a black duffel bag. Wearing your Archangel's uniform, the usual two-piece suit and blue tie, you and Mouse make your way down to the lobby where Charlie's waiting by an SUV, ready to take you to the mill. "Morning," he says.
How's obviously insufficient sleep. He opens the door for you and Mouse. You both hop in and Charlie drives you to the mill. midnight. There's a fog covering most of the ground outside the mill. It almost gives off the spooky vibe as you enter the abandoned lot. Just rained, you notice as the SUV drives through a puddle of water at the loading area of the mill, where you previously planned the job. Crew stands around you, ready to listen and act. Gabriel's beside you. He'll be watching your every move from the comfort of Mouse's laptop screen. Everyone around you except Gabriel looks sleepy but ready. You, Gabriel, Mouse, and the rest of your crew, Anna, Charlie, and Hayne, gather around the table with a map of the mall, which has the rows of ATM circled with a red marker. Gabriel supervises as you and Mouse explain the plan. Alright, so let's go through the roles first. Lean back on the table, looking over the blue. First problem is the security system. Mouse pulls out his phone. We can connect to the Wi-Fi from the parking lot. I can hack the system, try to delay the alarm, and cut the connection. Temporarily. Right, and that'll be our entrance. Point to the door on the second floor near the ATM, which leads to the parking lot. I'll shoot out the locks. From there, we breach into the second floor. Mouse indicates the security room and points out it's between the entry point and the row of ATM machines. Before we can get to ATMs, we had to deal with the guards. We got 18 of the zip ties. Let's hope we have enough. Say pulling the zip tie from your bag of supplies, putting them on the table. Alright, while security's being taken care of, I know we'll work on the ATMs. How are you gonna do it? Mouse looks to ATM, and it picks up her plasma cutter and sets it on the table. I've modified my plasma cutter. It can cut through the door at the ATM safely, but I won't be using it for the actual money boxes for fear of burning the cash. Alright, so what about the police response? How much time do we have before they arrive? Shoot. Whoops, that's me. Alright, so what about police response? How much time do we have before they arrive? You ask Mouse. Pulls up a note on his phone and says, 10 minutes, 4 seconds from the very start of a call. But they can vary. I'll monitor the police radios. So that's the amount of time we have to get in and get out of there. Tell the team. Check everything else. You remember one thing. Oh, and what about our getaway? You looked at Charlie. Charlie nods. I've got the fastest route up in mind. If we ever run into any heat, we'll lose them in a minute. Alright, so in short, gloss over the plan one last time. Drive onto the second floor parking lot. Look to Mouse and say, Edwin, you handle those alarms in the security system while we're in the parking lot. Mouse nods. I'll take care of them from here, he says as he sets his laptop on the table and turns it on. Then look at everyone else and say, I'll shoot out the door. From there we breach into the second floor. They nod reassuringly. Get in there will be at the very least 3 guards. Look at Hayne and say, we have zip ties. Use them. Take care of the guards while Anna starts working on the ATM. Hayne nods in acceptance, holding her Yamaco C7A2 in her arms, hugging it close to her chest, resting her chin on the rifle's vertical grip. Finally turn to Anna and say, Anna, you handle those ATMs after we make sure all the guards are taken care of. Anna nods understandingly. She has her plasma cutter at the ready. Alright, from there we load the cash into the duffel bags. Pick up the duffel bags and set them down on the table. Go to the getaway car and get out there as fast as possible. Look at Charlie. We'll be out there in no time, he says cheerfully. Alright, any questions? Ask the group and everyone seems to understand what it is he just said. Ian walks over to the table and grabs an ammo box on top of it. Ammo on the table, she says, topping off her magazine. Everyone else comes up and starts filling up their magazine. You have your magazines filled up and ready to go, so you just recheck your weapons. Alright, gloves on, mask ready, Gabriel says as Mouse sets up his laptop on the table. Everyone puts on their gloves as they begin walking to the postal van. Put on your gloves, grab your bloody white mask with a broken heart, and head over. Good luck, everyone, Mouse says as you all hop into the postal van. Hop into the back seat of the postal van with Charlie driving and Anna in the front passenger seat. And Charlie starting the engine, and the four of you drive out to the mill. Southgate Mall is about an hour's journey away. Your eyes are sleepy, but your body's tense and ready. Fight the urge to close your eyes and fall asleep. Just then, the sound of Mouse's voice brings you back. It's, well, less than half an hour away. Gabriel says to run the checks. As you've done before, you send for everyone to check their gear. Everyone pulls out their suppressed Glock 18 and inserts a fresh magazine before chambering around. Payne pulls out her suppressed Glock 18 and inserts a fresh magazine before chambering around. Then she grabs her Diamaco C7A2 and does the same with that. That's actually okay. Anna opens up her backpack and checks the contents, then pulls out her LA5A2, checking the chamber and inserting a fresh magazine before slinging it behind her back. She closes the backpack and carries it behind her back beside the rifle. Charlie checks the fuel gauge before loading his weapon with one hand while holding the steering wheel with the other. Huh. Thinks I need an A. Man. Just trying to do. Check the integrity of your juggernaut suit, tapping it and making sure it fits snugly under your suit. You have 5 lockpicks, you have 18 zip ties, you have 2 uses of your first aid kit. You have 2 blocks of C4. Eventually the rest of your team's ready and you finally arrive at your location. Right on time. Code names from here on out. Game face on. That everyone flips their masks down, showing their game faces. Kane as Ramiel looks back at you and nods before pulling down her black mask, skull on it. You're now the Raphael, their captain. Stare at your own bloody white mask with a broken heart before putting it on. This is it, your second job. Ah. Southgate Mall parking lot. Mario parks the double glass door leading into the second, arranging it so the rear end vehicle is facing the door. House contacts you. Alright, I'm coming off the connection. That should delay the alarm if you trip it. Wait a few seconds and Mouse contacts you again. They're down. I'll start the timer and you tell the system resets. They're good to breach. That's it. Time to move. You got any catchy one-liners? Alright, everyone. Let's. God damn it. Hop out with your crew and make your way to the locked double doors. Get ready to shoot the lock open by pulling round ray gun, baby. Close in on the door, aim right down at the handle where the lock-in mechanism is. Bang. The door swings open from the blast and you walk inside. Your crew move quickly, pouring into the second floor. Amio leads the way with her Diamaco C782 ready to go loud. The crew quickly and silently moves through the second floor. Along the way, you hear shouting in the distance. Guards must have been alert. Your footsteps coming in direction as you reach. Your crew line up against the wall. Amio goes around the corner, assault rifle pointed right in front of everyone else down. Right in front of everyone down the hall, you see a guard running towards you and Ramio. When he sees Ramio with her weapon drawn, he stops in his track, terrified. Guard stares at Romeo, his hands still right behind the holster taser. Can't tell he's thinking about it. Pull it out. I dare you, he says. Guard quickly pulls out his taser, but before he can aim, Gabriel shoots him in the leg. Bang! Right thigh explodes with red as he falls to the ground, grunting in pain. Shit! Guard rolls around on the ground, groaning in tremendous pain. That's stupid, and you deserve that. Romeo rushes over to him, quickly pulls out the zip tie, and ties his hands behind his back as he continues to groan. Continue down the hall. Romeo picks up the tied up guard, picks the tied up guard up, and his wound begins to spill all over the floor. Guard grunts in pain. Ah, easy. Romeo helps him up by his shoulders, then nudges the barrel of a rifle into the side of the guard's head and asks, "How many are working tonight?" The guard nervously tries to think of an answer, clutching his wound and wincing in pain. Um, there's 3 people that are working tonight. That including you? Romeo asks. Yes. He limps across the tile, dripping blood all over the floor. Right, let's go meet them. Earpiece rings with Mouse on the other side. I'm blinking out too much today, sorry. Just thinking about stuff. Raphael, that's you. This is Mouse. A 911 call just got out. Either someone tripped the alarm or someone must have heard something. Be advised, they do know you're there, and you have 4 minutes to get the job done before the cops come. Considering what you're trying to do, you probably won't have enough time before the cops come. The ATMs are closed, but you still have to get past the security room. I'm guessing you've already taken care of one of them. There should be around 2 left. Trying to remember the map. You're currently walking down the hallway towards the security room, which is conveniently right next to the ATM machine. Thank you, Mouse. You're welcome, says cheerfully. Good luck, I'll tell you if anything changes. Mouse out. Walk up to the end of the corridor where a corner goes to the left. Guessing the security room and ATM are right around this corner. The crew line up behind you. Romeo pushes the guards against the wall, and the guard grunts in pain as Romeo pushes her palm against the guard's mouth. Shh, Romeo says. Currently don't know how many are around the corner, but you know there are at least 2 more guards to take care of. The ATM's are right around the corner. How should you proceed? Peek around the corner. Place your cheek against the wall and slowly slide along the edge until you can see the corner. Move carefully as to not reveal too much. At the edge of your vision, you see a guard standing in front of what you think is the security room. He seems to have his gun out and is currently looking in your direction. As soon as you see this, he points his pistol at you and bang bang! Fires a couple of shots in your direction. None of them seem to hit you as you reel back behind cover. I know you're there. Come out. Doesn't appear to be any sign of the other guard. You don't know if the last guard's in the security room or somewhere else. Mouse, can you locate the other guard? Here, Mouse, go. Okay, hang on. Let me patch into the cameras. Then you hear him typing away at a keyboard. Wait a few seconds before an answer comes. I see him. He's on the other side of the mall, 1 floor above you. By the way, I can see you. Look around and see a security camera pointed directly at you. The whole time you never realized you were being watched. Wave at the camera. The camera starts moving up and down as if responding to you. It's on a loop on their screen. Y'all good. How should you proceed? Use the first guard as a human shield. Turn to look back behind you, and you see the first guard leaning against the wall, hands tied behind him as his wound grows redder beneath his uniform. His face looks pale, and he seems to not be in the best of condition. Walk to his side and pull him forward. You pull out your shooty bang bang and hold it aimed with one hand. Then wrap your other hand around the guard's neck and push him forward around the corner. Ow, ow! He grunts in pain as you push him. As the guard turn around, you see the other guard walking towards you, taser at the ready. He raises it a few inches before you train your pistol at his face. He stops and you can tell
at right away. He knows he fucked up. So he lowers the taser and holsters it behind before raising his hands. You aim your shooty shooty bang bang and smile. Your two Beretta M9s at him, trying to decide what to do with him. Force him to get on the ground. He nods nervously and immediately follows your command. He doesn't seem to be resisting one bit. Lucky you. He faces the ground, puts his hands behind his head in a sign of surrender, and stays there. Now do whatever you want with him. Look around and determine that it's safe to proceed without a human shield. Push the guard away and Romeo immediately trains her assault rifle on him. Tie him up. Pull out your zip tie and start tying his wrist behind his back. Not going to do anything with his hands anytime soon. Pick him off the ground and stand him upright. Grab the tied up guard by the collar and pull him down the hall. Romeo follows you, pulling the other guard with him. Walk down the hall to the security room and Uriel quickly gets to work. She pulls out her screwdriver and starts taking apart this computer's hard drive in the security room. She turns to you and puts the hard drives into her backpack. Footage is ours. I can't be looking through the CCTV for evidence, she says as she stands up and walks out of the room. Rambo grabs the first guard and throws him in the security room before breaking off the inside knob and closing the door, effectively locking them in from the outside. Now for the ATMs. You, Romeo, and Uriel walk further down the hall towards the row of ATM machines with the loot. But as you do, Mouse chimes in once again. Raphael, Mouse is calling for you. Mouse here. Remember that call that went out? Yeah, there's a cop car coming in your direction. You might want to hurry. ETA 1 minute until they arrive. You're at the loot already, so if nothing goes wrong, you should be able to get out of here before the cops arrive. Thanks for the update. You're welcome, he says cheerfully. Good luck. I'll tell you if anything changes. Mouse out. You, Romeo, and Uriel walk up to the ATM machines, and Uriel quickly gets to work, setting down her backpack and pulling out her plasma cutters. You and Mouse stand guard behind her, with Romeo looking away from the ATM machines, and you watching Uriel. The two of you merely have to wait. She sets herself up in front of the first ATM, the red one from Crimson Trust. She turns her plasma cutter back on and does the same procedure, cutting the slots at the side of the door lock, but this time on the other side, since the HBBC ATM is somewhat different. The sound is alarmingly loud. Don't know whether or not anyone outside can hear, but you definitely know everyone inside can. It takes Uriel a good minute of cutting the ATM before she finally stops and jams her axe hammer crowbar into a slot. Then she pulls the mini sledgehammer out of her bag and starts banging on the crowbar. You see the door slowly breaking open, inch by inch, strike after strike. It takes her a minute of banging before you hear a crack. The door finally pops open. Uriel pulls it open, and inside are the money boxes. She takes out her screwdriver and starts unscrewing them from the frame. Walk up to her backpack, pull out a duffel bag, and place it next to her. One by one, the bills start pouring out. Stuffs them in. Just as Uriel finishes up with the ATM, you hear footsteps coming from the deactivated elevator. You and Romeo look at each other before rushing off, weapons at the ready. Ronald Reagan, of course. My choice. Man. Oh, man. Ah. You and Romeo already know that the last guard's upstairs, so Gabriel cautiously takes cover behind the pillar and peeks out her assault rifle at the ready. Carry your rifle and take cover behind another pillar parallel to Romeo. Try saying pillar parallel to Romeo 10 times fast. Take a peek around the pillar and see the guard running with a pistol drawn down the elevator. Yell at him to surrender. You pop out of cover, weapons at the ready. You point at the guard and yell, "Hey you, hands in the air, bang bang bang!" Rush back behind the pillar as bullets Fly past you. Check to see whether or not you've been hit, and you haven't. You sigh in relief. But then you realize the fight's not over as bullets start flying past you, hitting the tile next to you and chipping away at the pillar you're using for cover. But then you realize the fight's. Sorry. But while the guard is busy shooting at you, Ramia pops out of the cover and fires her assault rifle at him. Bang! The first shot misses and the guard returns fire. Bang! Bang! Ramia fires again. Bang! Bang! Shots hit the guard right in the chest, throwing his body down the escalator. He hits the floor at the bottom with a loud crack. Look over and see Ramio on the ground, clutching her stomach. She's been shot. Ramio props herself up on the ground, holstering her pistol, then holding the wounds in her stomach and shoulder. She winces as she limps over to the guard, checking for her pulse, and shoots him in the head. Thump! Asshole! She mutters. She hisses in pain as she walks past you, limping. He died from the fall. Take a seat. Let me stop the bleeding. Thank you. Still hurts like fuck, though. She takes a seat by the ATM and you patch up her wounds, leaving the bullets inside for Uriel to take care of later. Finish up and help her off the ground, propping her arm around your shoulder. Uriel looks over and asks, You okay, Romeo? I'm fine. Let's just get this over with. Romeo walks over to the dead guard and drags his body to the security room and throws him in there with the other guards. As this goes on, Uriel walks over to you and says, Done with the Crimson Trust ATM. We got around $25,000 in the bag already. Then Mouse chimes in. Boss, are you there? You hear him say, I'm here. What's going on? Why? Raphael, the cops are right around the corner. They'll be there in less than a minute. Looks like you're gonna have to make a choice. Stay here and take more loot, or get the hell out of here. Understood. The original plan was to work on all three ATMs. You managed to crack over the Crimson Trust ATM. Considering the circumstances, would you like to make your escape now, or would you like to keep going? Keep the plan going, man. Go on. Watch as Uriel immediately goes to work on the second ATM, one from HBBC. She turns her plasma cutter back on and goes through the same procedure, cutting slits in the side of the room. This time on the other side, as the HBBC ATM is somewhat different. The noise it makes is still loud, so you decide to keep watch a further bit away. Uriel sees you walking away and shouts, Watch my back when I open this. Shouldn't take more than 4 minutes. Walk over and stand by Ramiel. She holds her suppressed weapon at the ready, pistol at the ready. Two of you stand guard while Uriel continues to do her job. All seems to be going well until you hear sirens in the distance. You and Ramiel prepare yourselves as you see the red and blue light shining through the window. Uriel quickly stops using her plasma cutter. You and Ramiel take cover and you hear Sari over the radio. The blues are here. You might want to hurry up. You and Ramiel take cover behind the information desk overlooking the floor where the main entrance to the mall is. Which weapon would you like to use? Ronald ray gun. You hear metal chains being unlocked and glass doors opening. Oh, I'm telling you, it's probably just a fuse. You hear cops say. What if they actually heard gunshots? You don't have backup. Another reply as the two of them walk into view. Tell you what, if you get shot at, we'll run back to the cruiser and call for backup. If we find a broken fuse, you're buying me coffee. Two cops walk into the middle of the mall. They don't appear to have any idea what's going on, and they're heading towards the escalator in your direction. Hey, did you recognize that guy back at the station? Walks around like he owns the place. Yeah, I didn't think the Don would come to the precinct. He looked pissed. That was Don Labadenchi. Wait, isn't he a mob boss or something? Yep, and you might want to keep your mouth shut, rookie. There's a lot going on you don't know about, and it's best you don't know. You and Rami will look at each other, and she waits for your order. Fire a warning shot. You prepare your rifle for action. Bang! Rifle locks open, signaling that you fired your last round. You jump out of cover, Firing wildly in the air, the two cops are startled and they run back the way they came. Get back or go home in a body bag, you shout. Oh shit, that ain't no fuse. Was it now? You hear one cop shouting as the two of them rush out of the building. You turn to Romeo and she says, they're calling for backup. We better get a move on. You decide to call Mouse. Mouse, this is Raphael coming in. You say through your radio. You hear no reply from the other side, only silence. Mouse, this is Raphael. Radio check. You tap your earpiece. You hear shuffling on the other side and you finally hear Mouse's voice. I'm here. Sorry, the laptop was low on battery, so I had to move to the couch to charge it. Need anything? Cops were here. We just took care of them. But there may be more coming. We're still working on the ATMs, but we should be done soon. Got it. Sorry, I wasn't here a second ago. Alright. Anything new outside the building? Right, so bad news. The cops called for backup. You might want to get out of there, Raphael. Please. Don't worry about me, Mouse. I'm alright. Okay, he says nervously. I'll let you know if anything else happens. Mouse out. A few minutes later, you decide to walk back over and check on Uriel. You see Uriel finishing up packing the money into a duffel bag in front of the HBBC ATM. We've got more than $50,000 in the bag. She zips up the bag and looks to you and asks, Want me to go for the last one? Yep, see if you can't get it open. Alright, I'm on it. Uriel takes out her plasma cutter and mini sledgehammer over the last ATM. The VAM Finance one. Okay, big guy, let's see what you're made of. She turns her plasma cutter back on and goes through the same procedure. Cutting slits in the side of the door. But this time on the other side, as the VAM Finance ATM, is somewhat different. The noise it makes is still loud, so you decide to keep watch a bit further back away. Uriel sees you walking away and shouts, Watch my back while I open this. It's going to take me a while. This lassie's not giving up easily. A few minutes later into the cutting, you hear the plasma cutter stop, followed by a shit. But thankfully, the door finally gives, and you start to hear hammering until... Bollocks. Are they having a laugh? You turn to see the VAM Finance ATM and has a secondary security measure. You've locked the money boxes behind the reinforced cage. Uriel sighs very, very loudly. This is gonna take a while. She pulls out her axe hammer crowbar and starts forcefully prying the cage open. I'll get this open, just give me a minute or two. Maybe 3, she says with an irritated grunt. Walk over to Romeo once again. She holds her suppressed pistol at the ready. Walk over to where you first encountered the cops and prepare yourself. Look over the railing into the lobby below, and you see no one down there. If they ever called for backup, you're gonna have trouble sometime soon. Better get ready. Romeo, Mouse here. Come in. You hear Mouse through your earpiece. I'm here, you reply. Right, so turns out they've sent 3 cruisers your way. And they're right around the corner. You might want to hunker down and get ready. Make sure you have someone watching out for them. We're almost done here. A few minutes to go. Alright, stay safe, he says with a sigh of relief. We'll let you know if anything else changes. Mouse out. A few moments later, you hear Uriel finally stop working. You decide to walk back in and check on her. You see Uriel finishing up with packing all the money into 2 duffel bags in front of the last ATM. Alright, that's all of them. She zips up the bag, looks to you and says, There's around $100,000 in these empty bags. All of the ATMs are empty. That's it, you're done. Now to make your escape. Alright, let's get out of here. Uriel follows you, carrying the 4 duffel bags with her. You might want to inform Sario that you're about ready to make your escape. Sario, get the postal van ready. We're done here. Yes, Captain, your carriage awaits, Sario says. Retrace your steps back to the second floor parking lot, and right outside the door is Sario opening the rear passenger door of the postal van. Walk out and Sario gives you a mock salute. Your ship is ready, Captain. He runs over to the driver's seat and puts on his seatbelt. You rush into the van sitting in the back as Uriel throws the loot in before jumping in with you and closing the door. Well loaded. Next stop, the mill. Sario steps on the pedal and the van jerks forward, causing you to slide a bit from your seat as you try to hold on. He drives the team out of the parking lot and onto the streets. In the distance of the mall, in the distance in front of the mall, you see a single cop car with its lights turned on. Then you hear a loud siren as a cruiser gives chase. And to make matters worse, right as you pass an intersection, another cop car swerves around the corner, turns on its lights and sirens, and joins the chase. Sario, we have company, Ramiel says. Sar- Sario immediately focuses on driving, but looks in the rearview mirror at the police cruiser, quite a distance from the postal van, unable to catch up. Right, hold on, Sario shouts. He holds on tight as he slams the steering wheel and does a tight turn around the corner, out of view of the police cruiser. He continues to drive down towards the road towards the mill. Thankfully, you don't hear any cruisers coming your way. The mill, around 2 a.m. The rest of the drive back to the mill is filled with the tense silence. The postal van finally arrives at the gate to the mill. Uriel hops out, opens the gate, and gets back in. Sario drives the van into the mill's loading bay. There in front of the office, you see Raquel, Gabriel, and Mouse, who immediately rush over, smiling at your return. You hop out of the van along with everyone else. Gabriel comes over to you and says, Congratulations on your second job. He sounds satisfied, but you can never know what expression he has behind that red, smiley mask. Uriel comes out of the van carrying your duffel bag of money. Hey, lads and lasses, she says as she throws the bag onto the table, unzips it, and starts dumping all of the money on the table. Everyone takes off their masks except Gabriel and Raquel as usual. The crew sighs in relief as they begin stripping their gear off. Holy shit, that was fun, Haynes says as she sets down her rifle and takes off her tactical vest. Charlie chuckles as he takes off his suit jacket and gloves and buttons the top two buttons of his shirt. Then he takes off his tie and wipes the sweat from his forehead. Gonna need some tea to calm down from that. Anna chuckles as she sets down the backpack and takes off her suit. I think I'm gonna treat myself to some McDonald's after this. Anyone wanna come? Charlie raises his hand in excitement. Oh, me. I wanna try this Big Mike. Big Mike you Yanks keep talking about. You've seriously never tried a Big Mike? Jane asks, packing her weapons into a gun case. Before you all go, let's split the take, Gabriel says, walking over to the table. Oh, right, Charlie says as everyone goes right over to the table where Mouse is counting the money. Mouse finishes counting with the calculator on his phone, then sets it down and clasps his hands together. Alright, so our total take was 90,735,000 worth of money. Gabriel pulls out his tablet and begins making a spreadsheet. Alright, as the previous take was said, Kix gets 25%, Hayne gets 25%, Anna gets 25%, and lastly, Charlie gets 25%. Mouse looks at the spreadsheet and says, all that minus the share for Gabriel. Gabriel looks at you. You are still the Raphael here. If you wish to make any changes for the split, now's the time to do it. Alright, no changes, so I'm done here. Gabriel nods. Very well, take your shares, get some rest. I'll contact you if something new comes up, he says, patting you on the back. All of a sudden, you hear the gate to the mill open up and the sound of a van rolling through. In the distance, you see a familiar taco van driving up to the loading bay of the mill. You can see Rook and Bishop through the windshield as they park the van in the loading bay. Rook hops out and opens his arms. Hey, what's up? You're late, Gabriel says as he walks up to them. Had a little trouble finding this Alexandra Caulfield person, Rook says. But we got it handled with a little help from Kits. Rook looks at you and winks. Rook got halfway drunk through the search, Bishop says, crossing his arms. It was only 2 bottles, Rook says. Of vodka. Bishop stares at him. Anyway, I need to find some dirt on some cartel members, so I might need to borrow your records for a while, Brooks says. You know who he is in the cartel? You have contacts there, right? Gabriel asks. You mean had? I haven't talked to them in a while, ever since I let you live. Brooke crosses his arms. Well, you can use whatever you find in my office, Gabriel says, pointing back to the office. Just don't take anything from the fridge. And don't eat the cookies. No promises, Brooke says, walking past Gabriel. No, seriously, the cookies are laced with chloroform, Cookie Gabriel says. But the beers aren't, Brooke says as he walks to the office. Sup, kids? He nods at you as he walks past you with Bishop. Anna, Charlie, and Hayne, all wearing their regular clothes, begin walking to Hayne's car. Anna pulls out her phone and starts texting. He looks at you and asks, Hey, we're gonna grab something to eat at McDonald's. Wanna come? Kidden and his crew said they'll meet us there. Charlie and Hayne look at you expectantly. Mouse looks over at his pack as he packs up his equipment and says, I'm up for a burger if you are. I suppose. Yeah, sure, I'm up for McDonald's. Awesome. Get in. Come on. Charlie gestures for you and Mouse to follow as they hop into Haynes' car. Anna looks at Gabriel as he packs his, his stuff. Gabriel stops packing, then looks up at everyone. Definitely not. He chuckles. Damn, almost had him. All right then, have a good day. Good day, Gabriel replies as he walks off with Raquel. He looks at you and says, Get some rest. You deserve it. Then he walks to his car and drives away. You and Mouse hop into your SUV and drive out of the mill, following behind Charlie, who's driving Haynes' car to the McDonald's. It takes you a while to actually find the fast food restaurant, since the mill is located in quite the isolated part of Chicago. Currently around 2 in the morning, and there's only a couple cars in the parking lot. You and your crew park in the near empty parking lot and make your way into the restaurant. As soon as you enter, the distinct seductive smell of burgers and fries hit your nose. Your stomach replies with a grumble. Inside, Kate and his crew are already waiting at the corner table. Oh, hey, over here, Caden says. Looking around, there's only a couple of people inside the restaurant beside you and Caden's crew. You and your crew merge into the corner with Caden's crew, and everyone starts chatting. Gabriel looks at you and asks, So, how's your job? Went fast. Went well, fast and clean. Caden hops off her seat and looks at everyone. All right, so 6 Big Mics, all with fries. She looks to Caden. I'll take a double. Caden shrugs. 6 Big Mics and double. Caden then looks at Mouse. Make that 2 doubles. Mouse says. 6 Big Mics and 2 doubles. Haynes says, looking lastly at you. What? Chicken nuggets, man. Chicken nuggets. And 1 chicken nuggets. Alright, Haynes says, making a mental note of the order before walking off to the counter. It only takes a couple of minutes before your food's served. Haynes walks back with a bag full of fast food and sets it down on the table for everyone to dig in. 2 sorrows, Charlie and Carly, immediately unwrap their Big Macs and take a bite. Oh god, this is amazing, Charlie says. Now I know why you Yanks worship this thing. I've never tried McDonald's in Belgium, but I've never tried an American Big Mac before. But oh mon dieu, this is heavenly, Harley says. Holy god, I actually got the accent somewhat better. Considering I didn't practice with this character. Everyone unwraps their food and starts eating as they talk about their jobs in the most cryptic way possible. Pull out your plastic package of deliciously fried chicken nuggets. Open the package and begin munching on the crispy chicken nuggets. Everyone continues chatting and eating, and the meal is almost finished when suddenly the door flies open and 2 masked men in ski masks and hoodies rush in with pistols. Everyone down, this is a robbery! Down on the ground, this is robbery! The 2 men rush to the counter, one keeping an eye on the very minimal crowd while the other jumps over the counter. pushes the cashier away from the cash register. God's sakes, can't I have a quiet meal? Caden says, leaning back in his seat. Hey, keep it shut, old man! One of the robbers walk up to Caden and point his pistol directly at him. Old man, I'm 49, Caden says in belief. In his defense, 49 is pretty old. Hain chuckles, sipping her cup of cool cola. Bitch, you shut up! The man points his pistol at Hain. Whoa, what, dude? I was defending you, Hain says. He has a gun, Hain. I don't think he needs help defending himself. Justin says nonchalantly, taking a bite of his burger. You asshole, shut up! The robber has had enough, and he points his gun up at the ceiling. Fires around on this. He points his gun up into the air, firing around into the ceiling. Bang! Being robbed. Do you know what that means? Bang, bang! Out of nowhere, in the blink of an eye, Caden unholsters his M1911 and unloads 2 rounds into the robber's chest. It went by so fast he didn't even have time to react, and the robber falls to the floor dead. The other robber quickly leans over the counter and ducks behind the table. Shit, Dylan, you okay? He calls out to his buddy, who's currently on the floor next to you, unmoving. Dylan's dead, punk. Caden shouts, aiming his pistol at the table. Aiming his pistol at the table, with the other robbers hiding behind. Might want to get out of here before you end up like him. The robber quickly decides not to take any chances and runs off out of the store. Man, my ass, Caden says, looking down at Dylan's corpse. He looks back up at everyone and says, we might want to get out of here too. Looking around, the McDonald's employees are currently sighing relief, though they're somewhat taken aback by Caden's actions. They all immediately pack up and walk out of the store. Might want to call the cops, Caden says to one of the employees before walking out. You all say your goodbyes, hop back into your respective vehicles, and drive out of the now empty parking lot. Safe house, 2 a.m. You know what? That's where we'll end it for today. Alright. It is good to be back. Uh, we went on longer than I did kind of count for. Maybe stopping a little bit short, you know. Sorry, just things coming up. Man. Uh, okay. Thank you guys for coming in today. You guys have a good day. I hope you guys have stay frosty, and I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, maybe I don't know. I'll see. We're definitely gonna finish Advance Wars and Final Fantasy Tactics. I'm not just gonna abandon. Those are games I actually genuinely enjoy, so it'd be a shame for me to leave. Yeah, so I hope you guys have a good day. Stay frosty, and I'll see you on the other side of the day, mis amigos. Adios.